This forum does not reflect the official opinion of the Corn Mafia Guild. Rather, it serves as a platform for members and guests to express their individual perspectives and opinions. We hope to create an environment where a variety of topics and conversations can take place, ultimately enriching the experience of our members and guests. We value and respect diverse opinions, and we encourage all to engage in respectful discourse.
Bup, 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 bup.
You know what you remind me of?
What's that?
You remind me of like Willy Wonka and his entrances, you know?
Oh, thanks, man. Gene Wilder.
That's for like what is it?
Gene Wilder.
Is that where you're getting it from?
No, but that's who played Willy Wonka, right? Unless you talk about Johnny Depp, who played something.
No. I'm talking about the original. I didn't know his name.
No.
Gotcha.
That's because you're young. You don't know anything about older movies.
Well, thank you. I'd rather be called young than stupid, so that was very kind of you.
Well, you could be young and stupid, but you don't seem to be.
I'm probably both. I think probably more the latter, but whatever.
Mm. I hope people.
Good morning. How is your day going, Stein?
Guten Morgen. Yeah, my day's going das gut. Yeah. Day's going pretty good. A little tired, but that's cool. Beautiful outside. Haven't been out, but I will after we're done this Twitter space.
Gonna get out and get some fresh air today. Get out of the basement studio.
I don't know, man. I don't know how long I'll stay outside. I'll probably I gotta do some things after here. I gotta work on the DAO for the website. Scruffy and I went over some stuff. Gave me the codes for the DAO for tomorrow, for Friday, for the vehicle DAO.
Oh man,
yeah,
the vehicle DAO coming up this Friday.
Yeah, so I got to put up some links and stuff to get ready for that for Friday, so I don't have to be rushed on Friday. Because I might forget and be like, Scruffy will be like, where's the shit? And I'm like, I don't know. I forgot. I can't have that happen. I can't.
Don't do that.
No, because I got ADHD. I tend to forget stuff, but I can work on stuff pretty quickly. So
there's a give and a take, right?
Yeah. Got my superpowers and my kryptonite.
All wrapped up in one.
Yeah, man. So we had a little good conversation this morning, you and I. It was pretty good. We're going to be talking about gaming and gambling, eSports betting, that kind of stuff today on the Twitter space. Hopefully, we'll get some more people in here. I think
we got the most important people in here. And anybody listening later, you're important too. Dang, I got to shy away from terminology like that. Let me back it up a few feet and start over. Good morning, everyone else. Scruffy, Kaz, Price, Empire, Kofi Boar, So, our pillars of the community here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Who's that? What? Is that Scruffy?
Well, I already have a quick kind of correction.
Yes, correct Stein all you want. Go for it.
Actually, technically, for us here in the United States, the vehicle DAO mint, starts tomorrow night for the U.S. time. Just FYI, because it's Friday UTC time.
Oh, that's right.
But it's 4 a.m. UTC time. So here it'll actually start at midnight. So I guess technically for you it's Saturday. Wait, Friday. I'm sorry. Technically for you it's Friday, but it's really Thursday night.
Technically,
for me it's Thursday night at 11.
Technically,
West Coast it'll be Thursday night at 9.
Technically.
So plan accordingly. Just want to say.
I'm going to plan.
Think after 2 years of time conversions, I'd have a better idea of global time, but I have no idea.
Well, it's weird because the UTC and then everybody in different countries, a lot of people have this daylight savings time shit, and it really throws me off. It really does. I mean, we have it because I got to get out there and plant my corn. Can't plant my corn if it's dark. Christ's sakes.
Exactly. It makes a lot of sense. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it doesn't.
I know,
Even Arizona doesn't do it. Arizona's just like, no, we're done with this stupidness. No more.
I know.
I absolutely hate having to set my sundial back an hour every freaking year. It drives me bananas.
And it really fucks up my cows, man. They don't know what's going on. My cows don't know what's going on. They're like, what the hell?
Well,
We've been waiting to be fed for an hour, a-hole.
we're a little off in the weeds already, and I'm not normally one to rein anybody in, but maybe we should bring those cows on home.
I know.
Well, here's the deal. Like, daylight savings time is important for gambling because how else are the gamblers going to know when, like, the tournaments start, when the races or the sporting events start? I mean, it all revolves around time. So, believe it or not, the king of segways has done it again, gentlemen.
And corrected me at the same time.
Yes. throwing everybody under the bus, correcting them, and taking over the show. It's the Scruffy Show. No, I'm just kidding. We love Scruffy.
He hasn't interrupted much yet today, but we'll get to that.
I'm trying not to, but if you guys prefer, I got stuff I could go be doing.
No, don't start that crazy shit.
He's got us on the ropes, man. He knows it.
Who's going to be
got him right where I want him.
Who's going to be the filler when Stein and Freiler can't think of anything to say? But on that note, it is about gaming and gambling, and I did live out in Vegas, and I did move out there to play cards, and so I'm into gambling, but I'm not into like sports betting and things like that. But I did do a Chat GPT thing today, 10 types of online gambling. And I'm talking about online gambling, like if there's going to be races in Cornucopias and stuff. I'm not talking about Cornucopias actually hosting the gambling. I'm talking about like OTB, off-track betting kind of things, like other people betting on stuff that's happening in the Cornucopias game, like eSports, like racing games, like any kind of gaming that'll be going on inside the metaverse, because we don't know what we're going to be able to do totally in there, but I'm sure we'll have more than just racing to bet on.
Yeah,
because
I'm
will have
assuming
they'll. Yeah, I was going
to say the same thing. They'll be.
Yeah, I was going to say people will have their own custom domes, and they may put on matches for doing either PvP shooting games or
coin flips
or other kind of games.
Just coin flips.
Yeah, well, that's a 50-50. So you'll come out
right. It's like roulette, man.
Yeah. Well, no roulette.
I'm going to host a dome that has watermelon seed spitting contests.
Ooh,
nice. And I just want to clarify, roulette is not a 50-50 game.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say there's that one green space ruined me.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that's why they put it in there. So
I know,
it
man.
Can't be a 50-50 game. Yeah.
Dang, you got me corrected again. I'm up to 3 for those counting in the audience. So let's see if I can make a factual statement during this whole.
Well, you already
Twitter
got the
space.
hat. You already got the hat trick. So let's bet on Freiler.
What's the over under on how many times Freiler will be corrected?
Right. So if people are not, there's gambling in a lot of countries. Asia is like they love gambling in Asia, as we do here in the United States. But if you're going to be betting on stuff like racing games, let's start off with racing, because that's going to be the first thing that's coming out. Now, if people are going to be starting off racing, people are going to be bookmakers, and bookmakers, for those that don't know, are people who take bets, okay, and pay off on odds. It's highly illegal usually, but this is Web3 type of behind-the-scenes stuff. People probably be betting with ADA or Copy or whatever.
And a lot of those guys, I feel like they get away with it for so long anyways, until somebody finally cracks down on them, that you're still going to see them pop up regardless of legality, right?
Right.
Well, and it also is very important to remember it's illegal in certain places. It may or may not be legal where a person lives.
Right.
And there's also gray areas as far as, where is the server that's hosting the bets? At least in Web 2, where are those servers offshore? Are they in a particular country? And it's kind of a gray area. So I just want to make sure that that's clear.
Yeah, but there'll be when you're racing, like in horse racing or any type of racing, you can bet on multiple ways. You can bet on show first what is it? Place, show,
win, place, show.
Win, place, show. That's right. So you can either bet on the winner, the person the person will come in second, and the person will come in third, and then you can do a trifecta, which you have to get them all three in that row, and those usually pay off like really big. So when you hear people like, "Oh man, I hit the trifecta," that means you won. That you put in order, win, place, show. And you bet on them, because if somebody has a really bad odds of winning but you put them on, they're going to come into place or win or show on a trifecta. Yeah, man. I'm not a bookmaker, but I'm sure we can ask ChatGPT to write us up a booking software, or a code or something like that you can put into Excel or whatever you do with it. I don't know. But I think it's going to be pretty interesting. And I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty big. I think it's going to be really big, because when people are racing, I want to be able to be like, yeah, I bet on them. And then they're going to have racing teams. Bet on which team is going to come in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of potential there. I saw that just the betting portion of esports market was more than 10 million for 2021. And that's not including just the prize pools and stuff for actual tournaments for these games. So there's a lot of money being thrown around for it.
Yeah. And when I put it into ChatGPT, I'm not on the paid version, so this is a couple of years old. They put esports betting, wagering on professional video game competitions and tournaments where players compete in games like League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike, and global offensives. I don't know. Plus they have bingo. You can go in lotteries and things like that. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, so I had to get rid of my dog for a second. Yeah, I see the leading esports tournaments worldwide as ranked by prize pool. And in 2021, I don't know what this is, the international, but apparently for the last several years, they had the largest prize pool. It was $40 million was their 2021 prize pool. The Fortnite World Cup in 2019 was $15 million. I know we're talking about betting, but still, that's a lot of money flowing into these esports games.
Yeah, man. And then you're going to get if it gets very popular, you will actually have people come into this game to have professionals start their own racing teams, not just us people here hanging out in guilds and stuff like that. But it could get to the point where they're going to be like, hey, this is the big thing over here in this metaverse. Let's get a bunch of people together, train them how to race these games, and go from there, So.
Well, and I think another important thing to bring up is how easy it will most likely be to bet, right? Once somebody develops a site, whether it's Web 2 and eventually probably evolves into a Web 3 where you go to a dome, you walk into, a building and you actually place a bet. But in the beginning, it'll most likely be Web 2. But once that's done, let's face it, it's so easy to bet with crypto, right? Right now, you have to either physically take your money to a bookie or to a casino or someplace that has a sports book or whatever to place a bet. Yes, they do have credit card transactions, and yes, they have stuff, but really and truly, it takes 4 or 5 days for money to move back and forth. And, once the event is over, it can take quite a while for you to get your winnings and things like that. But nowadays with crypto, with things happening in a span of seconds or minutes, depending on blockchain traffic. And the fact that, all of us already deal in ADA and probably soon to be Copy and or gold, if not already. The ease of transactions, I think, will make the space explode.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like when I wanted, this is how I got into crypto. I wanted to play poker online, and it's illegal here in the U.S. or most of the country to play with cash online. But if I got Bitcoin, I could play at America's Card Room because they accept Bitcoin as a transaction because Bitcoin is not American currency. And then they just turn it into a symbol that is the worth of $1, basically. So whatever Bitcoin you put in, then they would calculate it and give you that money in cash, to play in a site.
Kind of like chips at a casino.
Right. So that's one way around the law, I guess. If it's not currency from your country, I think it's legal. I'm not sure, man, but
kind of a gray area, huh?
Well, yeah, but if you're betting ADA on something, well, that's not a currency. That's everybody's like, that's play money. That's not real, So.
Well, how is it regarded in the law though? Because it is like taxed on and things like that, right?
Well, yeah.
So it's considered an asset. No.
Well, taxed on, yes. You have to, if you buy and sell anything, essentially, in the U.S. anyway, they want to tax it. So
Yeah.
In that respect, yes. But as far all my research says that no cryptocurrency is official legal tender in the United States.
Right.
However, with CBDs and all these things that are coming, that could change regarding those. But I kind of think Stein could be right on this. It may not be technically, by the letter of the law, illegal to wager ADA on a sporting event, even in the United States. I don't know though.
Well, they have a thing called I play it, and I've won quite a bit on there. Chumba Casino, which is a slot machine site. So what you do is you send them cash, and it's legal in America. They follow the law, and it's legal in every state except Washington and like Michigan or some place where they don't allow the lottery. So what they do is they take your cash and they turn it into sweeps coins or SCs, sweeps coins, and you can use those to spin the slot machine or play on the slot machines because they're using the same algorithm based off from a lotto. So they're pulling numbers, and that's how they get around it. And it's a sweepstakes, not a slot machine. And then when you want to get paid out, well, then you have to you have to exchange your sweeps coins back into currency. And when you do that, they can tax you on it if you want. Because now you made a profit on something. It doesn't matter whether you're selling used clothing on eBay or whatever. As long as you made money on something, then the government can grab your cash. But it's not illegal to gamble because it's not currency. So, yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a profitable way, and I think that's going to bring in the next subject, which is like casino games. I'm not sure if they're going to allow us to do mini games in the metaverse. I don't see why not. I mean, we'll be owning the domes and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you can come up with slot machine and table games and all that stuff, that's going to be a big moneymaker.
Yeah, by your definition, there would be nothing like in our area that would be illegal about operating tabletop games in a dome and just using gold, in-game gold, right?
Right. I don't know. I mean, because Because it aren't like loot boxes. Were those illegal? Do you know what I'm talking about? The loot boxes that were in what was
Yeah,
it?
for video games?
Yeah.
No, those were not
No.
illegal.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I know there's been some controversy around them, but yeah.
Right. But so there we go. I mean, it's. I don't think it's illegal. So
Well, yeah, I would think that very possibly doing it for Kopi, but I would almost guarantee that if you were doing it for gold, which obviously could be transformed into Kopi, that I don't think they could do anything about it, to be honest. Now, once you cash out once you turn that gold into Kopi, and once you sell that Kopi for real money, then will they tax it? Yes.
yeah.
But I don't believe the act of quote unquote gambling in a dome for in-game gold is something that they'd come after you for, and it's probably skirts the letter of the law. But I don't think that that's illegal. Because I mean, there's lots of video games that have in-game gambling. And again, it brings up the question of gambling. If you look up the definition, and I'm paraphrasing here because it's been a while since I've looked it up, but essentially it says you got to have two things, right? Exchange of money and a game of chance is, I believe, how they quote it.
Right.
And, some people argue on what is a game of chance. Well, something like roulette, I don't think could be argued that it's a game of chance, right? Or something like Keno or the lottery. However, especially when you come to eSports and betting, and I mean, certainly if you're performing in it, there is skill involved. But even picking the winners, doing research, that's why I always thought that horse racing was, again, kind of a gray area there, because it does require some skill. I mean, anybody can get lucky, right? You can just go and circle a number and go bet on it, and it could win in, but because there's skill involved with the jockeys and, the types of tracks they're on and all of that stuff, again, technically, I believe the United States considers that as gambling, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's a lot of gray area. I see Kef has his hand up. I'll be quiet now.
Go ahead. Is Kef up here?
Hey guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Hey guys. Just to go back on the loot boxes, in Belgium and the Netherlands, they are not allowed. So they are, in Belgium and the Netherlands, the loot boxes are, they look at it as gambling here in Belgium and the Netherlands. So you cannot buy them. So every game needs to adapt the law to the Belgium and Netherlands. We cannot buy them over here. So if we want to buy them, we need to have a VPN, that's one. Or like in FIFA, you just cannot buy any coins.
So
when you log into a video game that has loot boxes, are you actually restrained from buying them in some way, or is it just the law that you shouldn't?
No, I'm restrained from buying them. Like in Belgium, if I go on FIFA today, I cannot even buy the coins. I'm obligated to earn them. I cannot buy them.
Okay, well,
and once you earn them, you could spend them?
Well, since this is a metaverse and you can earn coins, can you use those, or what do you think? What do you think is going to happen there? I know you're not a lawyer.
I see. It's the same. It's the same. I can go into FIFA. I can play. I can earn the coins, and I can spend them on packs, but I cannot buy them.
Okay. Well,
thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. Plus this. Yeah, that's something to think about. I mean, but that won't that. If it's going to be in that type of scenario where you have to actually earn, because it's a play to earn game. So play to earn, learn to earn, a lot of earning going on, so people can actually use that currency to gamble.
Yeah, I I think it's going to be maybe like a somewhat changing landscape. I know obviously there's already lots of precedents being set, so I could be entirely wrong for the 9th time this Twitter space. But yeah, just to me, anytime you're like skirting the edge of the law, I don't feel entirely safe in it, because I mean, what if they decide like, okay, we do need to nail down what is this, like, are they actually gambling money? Like if cryptocurrency gets recognized, like Scruffy said, if we do get a CBDC and the state starts recognizing crypto as a legal tender at some point, then that could just throw all these definitions, out of whack.
True. And obviously none of this is legal advice. So don't go out there and start up a site because you're like, oh, Freiler told you to, or Skyler
said it was legal.
No, this is not any type of legal advice. I think we put that in the beginning. Excuse me. But and
recognize that a lot of this would probably be taking place technically, maybe on the edge of the law.
Right. And that kind of reminded me of something, but I don't think I should say it in the Twitter space. I wasn't sure if it was illegal to sniff cocaine off a hooker's back while speeding in a stolen car with weapons. Is that skirting? I don't know.
That is definitely skirting the line. I'm not sure which side it's on, but you're right on it. Right.
Are you a senator or not? Because if you're not, then yeah, you broke the law.
Oh, there we go.
It depends on where you're at too. I mean, like if you're in Babylon, sure, that flies. But
yeah, geez, man, I don't know. I was just wondering if that was skirting the law. Oh my God, I'm so bad.
No,
I'm so
Don, you actually brought up a good point when we were talking yesterday. That I knew about kind of in the back of my head, but I'd kind of forgotten about it. And this could bring a very nasty element to the game as far as people throwing matches.
Yeah.
If it becomes lucrative, if bookies or, promoters or, just nefarious characters come in and decide that they want to put a whole bunch of money on one side, and somebody takes a dive or loses on purpose, then that could ruin the integrity of the game. And I worry with in the United States, they have gaming commissions, right? In boxing, they have a boxing commission. Yeah. They've got regulatory entities that make sure things like that don't happen. And they have high penalties for it. But to be honest, the metaverse is still new. It's kind of the wild, wild west. And I don't see anybody policing any of that kind of action.
Well, I don't know how they would police it. I mean, because you could have people come in, and I think we touched on this back to when we were actually, like, I'm just thinking now, like when we're talking about AI, like if you have AI that can outperform people. See, like a lot of these eSports games, those are done in stadiums a lot of times. So you can actually see the players, if we're going to have people operating in these games, yeah, I think it could be bad actors would definitely flock to cryptocurrency. Not that that's ever happened, that bad actors would be involved in crypto.
Never, not yet in crypto. Thank goodness. We're still safe, guys.
Yeah, man. If there's $1 to be made in the crypto space, that's where they're going to draw those people in like flies.
Oh yeah, it sucks because I feel like that's already kind of the state of the space. I know that's not the topic of today, but geez, man, it feels like these serial ruggers are just like half of the projects out here these days. It's insane.
I mean, if you have say you're betting on a game, and then the bookies just be like, okay, we got your money, but we're gone. I don't know. There'd have to be some type of blockchain, like, smart contracts to protect people. I don't even know how you would do it, man. It's mind-boggling. You'd have to build up a good reputation first of all, right?
Or open source it or something.
Yeah, there's kind of two things there, right? If you're excuse me, if you're planning on running a continuous business, you want to build up a good reputation, right? People that don't pay their bets, nobody bets with them, right? So they are incentivized to be honorable in their payouts. But as you brought up with smart contracts, the smart, I guess, bookies would be the ones that would say, look, we're going to lock it in a smart contract. Now, if there's some sort of API they can tie it into to get the winner or loser of a race, which I assume will be coming. But again, that will probably be later on down the line, right? When it launches, there's probably going to be no way to programmatically get a hold of that information. And so you're just going to have to rely on their reputation.
Right.
And the people that rug, they'll be kind of a one and done. It doesn't make sense for them to do that because the house always wins, right? So if you're trying to get a profitable business, I don't think they'll take the money and run. Now, if you had a giant event like the Super Bowl or in here, if you had some sort of grand championship, a season-ending race of all the champions, and there was 10 times, 50 times, 100 times the amount of betting that normally goes on, could somebody do that and then go, okay, yeah, that's my retirement? Absolutely. And so I think everybody ought to be wary of that. But generally speaking, I think they'll want to keep paying stuff out to get more bets.
Yeah, right, I agree. It'd be more lucrative to keep the business going for a time.
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
Yeah,
what are you going to do if the bet's too? I want to bet, $500,000 ADA. I guess we'd have. I guess people would have to be like very trustworthy. That you can't trustworthy. Yeah, my mouth.
It's all good. We're gonna just glaze past it.
That they can pay out on that. I guess they'd have to set limits like they do at table games. Like, no, we can't accept that bet. It's too large. Because if you win, we can't pay out the odds on that. So you have to have
smart, huh?
Now that comes into another thing. Scruffy and I were talking about guilds and how guilds would probably not want to put their face in front of these things. Now, guilds would be the most trustworthy. Somebody fill in the blanks for me on that one, would you? Jesus.
It's a new word, trustworthy.
I know. Well, yeah. So
is that a flavor of ice cream?
I don't know.
Did you say scruffworthy?
Scruffworthy. Scruffworthy. Oh, man, Christ, my mouth is working today. So if you had,
well, that's a first.
I know. But if you had guilds in front of that stuff, then people would trust you, right? That would probably be the best. Like if you had the Knights or Corn Mafia Guild, the two big ones, in charge of bookmaking, then you'd be like, there's a whole group of people at the top that's running this thing, and so they're not going to be able to just rug everybody because they got NFTs and DAOs and all that stuff involved, and they can't just take all the money because then, all their commodities are going to crash. Nobody's going to,
But again, like you said, I think that management would probably be a little apprehensive about that because due to the legality. So it's kind of a catch-22, isn't it?
It is. Most definitely. I mean, but that would be the best, but we can't do it. I mean, I think both guilds have talked about, maybe having like casino games. And if not, well, we have. I know we were talking about that like way back, like a year ago. We like, well, are there going to be gambling? Because I know, what's the other big metaverse that has gambling? One of the Snoop Dogg's with. The hell?
Oh, Sandbox?
Yeah, doesn't Sandbox or one of those guys have like casinos or something like that? So I know one of them does. Sandbox or there's another one, but they have like gambling in there. So I don't know how it's going to run. I'm wondering if the people over here at Cornucopias are even maybe having a thought about that too. Can we do a casino? I wonder if they're thinking about that because that's a big moneymaker. Casinos don't go bankrupt.
Can I, Stein? My question with casinos in the metaverse keeps. How do you keep these kids out of your casino? Do you really want a kid of 12 years old go betting on things? That's. I have a kid. I don't want my kid to be able to go in a casino in the metaverse without me knowing it. I can be 24/7 to look what he's doing.
Well,
Yeah, that's a valid point.
But I think it's like that. Anything in the metaverse that you're going to have age restriction, right? I mean, if you're going to have,
I think that Web3 gives us unique opportunities to put in safeguards as well.
Right.
If it was, say, hosted by like the Cornucopias people, you could institute or implement some sort of like digital identity, and so you would have to be KYC'd to ever gamble in the metaverse. Otherwise, you'd be locked out,
Right.
So it'd be optional for you, but it wouldn't be optional for everyone. So in that way, we're improving over like the Web 2 function where there is no safeguards. You just click a button saying, "Of course, I'm 18."
Yeah, they might not even. I don't even know. I mean, they want to make it a family friendly place, like the metaverse, and this is going to go off sidetrack, and I don't want to get too far off of what I'm going to say, but things like predators and things like that preying on children that are in a game. They want to have safeguards against people under the age that they're not being preyed upon. So I don't know how they're going to safeguard that, but they probably have thought about that. It's like, well, how do we protect the young people in here from bad actors and people who want to prey upon them? So, is it going to be a digital identity? Are we going to have to do something like that?
Yeah, I think we know that the team does have a heavy focus on being family friendly. So I imagine they're going to put in a bunch of engineered controls that will keep everything, family friendly and, kid friendly like that. So,
right. So
they have talked in other Twitter spaces about essentially general areas and areas that only adults could access. And I know there are protocols being built on Cardano as we speak, doing exactly what Freiler was talking about, i.e. you have a digital identity. It can store your age. Yes, you have to KYC, things like that. So I certainly think that they plan to implement those technologies, and they've even spoken to it in the past.
I personally think, well, like right now you can't buy crypto. I don't believe if you're under the age, right? Because you have to go through an exchange and then you have to show ID usually. At least here in America you do. Right? To
you could mine for crypto.
Right.
That would be one way of getting it onboarded without needing KYC, but yeah, outside that, I'm not coming up with any others.
So
well, I can show you 50 games where you can earn crypto today.
Right, but how many games can you buy crypto in if you're under the age?
All of them. The only thing you need is a wallet.
Well, okay, but how do you get the money on board?
Stein, anybody you could start up a process where the kid down the street comes and gives you $50 and you send him $50 worth of crypto.
Not that son of a bitch. He was supposed to mow my lawn.
He owes me
way
$50
easier than
still.
that. Have you guys ever been to a Bitcoin machine? You just put cash in, tell it where to direct your Bitcoin to, and then boom, you've got Bitcoin in your wallet, no age, no nothing.
Okay.
See, I've never done that before, and that's why I didn't talk about it, because I don't know if they make you have any kind of driver's license or identification or KYC or any of that. But you're saying that essentially you just walk up, you put money in and tell it what wallet to go to?
Yeah, that's basically it.
Wow. Yep. There you go. There's your onboarding for kids.
There we go.
Yeah.
Get you flipping in some Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It
Jesus.
is technically a trust system, though.
Yeah.
It is a what system?
It is a trust-based system at this point.
Oh,
sure.
That's nice.
Well, there's the flaw.
Yeah, there
I
you
was
go.
going to say, that works for everybody on the planet.
Yeah, it's like dropping your kids off at some random stranger's house. Here, I'll be back later.
I trust you.
I don't know you, but I trust you. But anywho, I didn't want
All
to
right,
get
little Timmy, wait out here in front of the casino, but don't go in. Okay,
Don't
even
go
though
in.
they'll let you, don't
You
go
could
in.
win. You could win tons of money too, by the way, but don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, so
go ahead.
that KYC, that should be done in about 3 or 4 months, at least the first version we can actually start using with both the SSID and the DID side. So that's sort of like the validation that the project is legitimate and that all the founders are connected appropriately, and the consumer side, where we're putting forward our KYC, our addresses, and so forth. So that IAMX is coming up with that. Should be Q3 of this year.
Well, okay. So let's get back to this. We have people that want to make money by accepting bets. Scruffy and I talked about this too. Now, if the bet was, say, 10 ADA to bet on something, but instead of taking the 10 ADA, you charge them 11 ADA for a transaction fee. So you wouldn't actually be doing a bookmaking. You would just be holding. What was that we were saying yesterday, Scruff?
Escrow, right? You
Right.
hold it in escrow
Right.
until the completion of the smart contract. But technically, you may not even need to hold it if you put it through a DAO. And at that point, there is no individual entity or, I guess, specific locale that you can charge with facilitating bets.
Right, but we wouldn't be doing the bookmaking. Now, I think if it's like gamble, like poker is more legal in more states than just casinos because of the fact that you're not betting against the house. So if you're betting against other players, then the house, the way they make money is by taking a rake. So the rake is what's separating them from facilitating the gambling. And I think that may be another loophole where if you're going to be running a racing tournament, you could charge $10, but I guess it would only be the racers betting against themselves.
Yeah,
Right.
Actually, this reminds me of a classic site, which I believe is still up and operational. It lets you bet on global events, political outcomes, and so forth. And you're in that case just betting against what everybody else thinks the outcome will be. There is, to your point, no house. And I don't remember there being any restrictions on anybody using that service. You can, as long as you don't put up a credit card. That's the one catch. You can never use credit cards in gambling.
Right.
In any form of gambling.
Yeah. And now to get back to Stein's point, I believe, and again, I am no lawyer, but I believe that the way when you gamble, let's say you go place $100 bet on a football game or something, and it's, you're not taking any odds into account or anything like that. It's a straight 50-50 bet, right? If you win, okay, I believe you get like 90 back, right? They take 10% out of what you bet, okay? I think that's how it works. Now, I think what Stein's talking about is if you were to say it was $100 bet, but for each, bet placed, there was a $10 administrative or transaction fee, a flat rate kind of a deal, that then essentially all of the money would be going to the winner or loser party. And I don't know. I don't know all the legalities of that, but it's possible that there is a way to do that where it still technically falls within the letter of the law.
Okay. I'm gonna. All right. Let's move on from that just for a second. I wanna get a kind of like a poll or people maybe coming up to talk if they want to. What would you like to bet on in metaverse. I personally want to bet on the racing games. I want to be able to bet on those. That's one of the things, because that's going to be the first thing coming out. So is there any other kind of things that you want to bet on? You maybe like PvPs or something like that, like matches?
Yeah, I was thinking like district outcomes, right?
Pet battles.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, bet on.
Yeah, pet battles. Remember, Rob said it's going to be one, right?
It sounds like there's going to be a lot of different things to be gambling on in the game if you wanted to.
Yeah. So, man, I wonder if we can do lotteries too. Can we do lottery? Because I know we've done raffles, but that's not really betting. That's kind of like I don't know. Is a raffle considered betting? I mean, you pay for a ticket.
I guess.
You pay for a ticket.
Gambling.
Right? Okay, hold on. One person at a time.
There's a lot involved, right? Yeah.
Okay, one person at a time. So is a raffle that's not considered betting, right? Because you're buying a ticket, and because I know every state around here, in the U.S. they allow raffles, right? Raffle off a pumpkin pie or an apple pie, right, at the fair. So, yeah.
So I think the trick is what the prize is. Are you giving money as the prize, or a tangible object, or some other discounts or services? I think that's the catch in all of this.
Right.
I think so too, because most of the raffles I see, they're not for cash money. They're for a gift card or a prize, like you said.
Right. I know, like those pull tab tickets. I don't know if you guys, that's kind of like a raffle, but you're still betting against whether you win money back or not. So, I don't know.
I love how Stein asks a question and then doesn't give anybody a chance to answer it. Because I want to go back and answer his previous question.
I'm thinking out loud.
He's like, what does everybody want to bet on? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, and you can do raffles. And I'm like, wait, I wanted to answer that.
That's my problem, man. I got a mental problem. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Jesus, my mind just goes. Okay, go ahead.
All right. I want to bet on the PvP matches because I believe that those will be easier to determine the outcome. If you start getting set teams, I think that there'll be a little more consistency to those. I could be totally wrong, totally off base. I think the racing could have some consistency as well. But, after playing the racing game, if you just make one little mistake on a track, your whole session can be done, right? And it just feels to me like I don't bet on college football, right? Because any given Saturday, weird stuff happens.
Too many upsets.
And I would be more likely to bet on the NFL just because I feel not that, any given Sunday a certain team can't win, and there are upsets and all that. I just feel as a whole that it's a little more consistent. The top teams tend to win a lot more. And I don't know. Anyway, that's my answer. I want to bet on the PvPs.
When you say PvP, you're talking about player versus pet, right?
Yeah, we're talking about a Michael Vick scenario in here where
we're talking pilgrims versus pirates.
Oh boy.
No, specifically the first person shooter that they've already shown. Now there will be other, technically the racing is PvP, right? That's player versus player. And so people say PvP oftentimes regarding the first person shooters, but that's really FPS. So let me jump back and say I want to bet on the FPS.
Well, he's correcting himself even.
It's actually going to be TPS though, because it's a third person shooter.
Technically.
Yeah.
Technically.
Technically.
If we're being technical.
Well, it's not going to be a first person view.
I like Price's answer for the same, aforementioned reasons of betting on districts, because like you said, I'm going to be too stressed to bet on races. There's just, like you said, anything could happen. You hit one rock or a barrier and it's thrown off your whole track. So I like the districts because then you're like betting on, I mean, in our instance, or a lot of people here, you're betting on your guild, on your district, and you're probably doing a lot of work, throughout the season. So it's like one big bet that you're working towards versus like one quick flash in the pan. I think I would like that.
But here's my question, and I like that idea too a lot. In fact, I was saying consistency. I don't know that any other bet will be more consistent than that, but I feel like, at least maybe not after a few years, but in the beginning, I think there's going to be kind of one or two sectors that are always going to battle it out for the top. And then there will kind of be everybody else. Now, maybe that's good, right? Because you could still bet on, like Stein was talking earlier, win, play, show. If you were to do something like that to bet on the positions, I could totally see that happening. But do you guys worry that the same sector district, the same district will continuously get first place over and over and over again? I mean, if it happens 10, 12 weeks in a row, what's the betting look like that for week 13?
Oh, well, geez, Freiler. Freiler was a little upset on that, Scruff.
What? That wasn't my dog.
Oh, that wasn't your dog. Whose dog was that?
That was my dog.
What
that was
the
my
hell?
dog. Look.
He was telling that bird to shut the hell up, and I agree.
Yeah, she was worried about the bird squawking in the background while I was making my point.
Good.
Let the man speak.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. But what if the betting starts getting really out of control, and people, and then other guilds are like, we got to get some ringers in here with a lot of land, things like that.
As the Mafia, we're going to become a target because, like Scruffy said, we're just going to keep winning every district competition.
Oh, come on, you're gonna upset
I just don't even see how we could be stopped at this point. We haven't even started.
No, now you pissed off the knights.
I was going to say, you just lost all your night listeners.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any
way
other
to go
guilds in here, but,
way to go. We're trying to build
Joke's
this
on
space.
you. We didn't have any.
Oh, we do too. Look at the thumbs down,
Just kidding,
Freiler.
Chiaz.
Come on, he's
Fight the power, Chiaz.
Freiler's young. He didn't mean that. He was just speaking out of school, telling tales.
No, No, I'm just teasing. If anybody here is, pro Knights, it's me. I'm in their Discord.
Oh, I am too. Isn't that nice? Well, yeah, a lot of us are. We have a lot of cross chain. But
whatever.
I'm interested when they start having like mounts and pets in there. We talked about before. Yeah, we're racing vehicles right now, but I could totally see a day where you've got horse racing or dog racing,
right,
or mountain lion racing, or I don't know, whatever.
and I think the racing of any type is going to be bet on. It has to be. I mean, that's like one of the big incentives of these games. It's like what's the sense of racing just so we can he's a winner. Yeah. Well, okay. What does he win? He wins a trophy. Okay, that's great. But
can we swim race? Can we race across like the lake? Can we swim? Can we have? Will there be boats? We don't know.
But they'll be betting. There will be betting.
Yeah. You got that right.
Yep. If you build it, they will come.
Right. If you bet on it, if you allow betting,
if you build it, they will bet.
Right. That's right.
I'll bet on your downfall.
Anybody else have anything that they want to bet on? All right. Okay.
Chiaz is up here. He's not going to let my Mafia smack talk run on a post.
All right. Go ahead.
No, Chiaz is not. He's not speaking.
Oh, he's not?
I wanted
well,
to,
if you would shut up, he might.
Well, he was not listed on mine as a speaker, and so I was just letting you guys know you needed to get him up there, but never mind. You did. Go ahead, Chiaz.
Thank you. Hello. Just to bring the conversation a little bit into the theme zones, I was wondering if there's maybe possible to do gambling or betting on when people go into the district zones for raiding, for certain areas. You may have a group of people that are skilled, and they may go into a certain area and may be betting on whether or not they survive.
That'll be internal betting, though, on their behalf, right? Yeah.
I like it. It's like Hunger Games.
Right?
Yeah, like Hunger Games.
It would be like
Yeah.
Hunger Games, right?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Love it. Love the idea.
Then you could bet on who got the most loot out of each individual. That's what I was thinking about that when we were doing when you were talking about FPS, first person shooters, frame per second. The like who got the most kills during a match and things like that. You know.
Absolutely.
In Hunger Games, you have a very good point there, Scruffy, with that those who were watching were able to give to the players. Like when someone when she was hurt, she got some healing potion or whatever it was. Yeah. So that would also be an interesting facet if that was possible.
I'm going to change my name to Katniss. That's what I'm going to do.
Catnip?
Katniss.
Stein Everdeen.
Katniss.
He's more like a PETA, if you know what I mean.
Katniss, right? That was her name, right?
Actually, you should change it to Catnip because your cat would love that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Catnip Everdeen. Evergreen. Catnip Evergreen. That's it. Got a new name for myself. I want everybody to call me Catnip Evergreen from now on.
These conversations turn on. They go
fast downhill.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, we got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes left here, so we got 5.
Oh, well, Kingsley, were you trying to get a word in edgewise?
Yeah, I just created a character in the game called Catnip Evergreen.
Yeah, there we go. Catnip Evergreen.
Yeah, create one in Cornucopias, your elk.
I just trademarked
She could
that.
be Sakura's sidekick.
Yeah. Okay, we got 4.5 minutes left on this Twitter space. Anybody else have any final thoughts on it?
Well,
sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I'm just concerned whether, because it's as decentralized and all that, will governments crack down and then require us to have gambling licenses? Because you can't say Cornucopias is existing in any country, right? Not any jurisdiction. That's the big issue with it. I don't know. Regulations are a bit sketchy.
To that point, I also think that, and this was something I thought of earlier, but you're right. Governments could come crack down. Generally speaking, they usually tend to go after the betting agency first, the entity that is placing the bets, as opposed to all of the small fries like us. No offense, brother.
I was going to say, he said fry.
Yeah. Generally, they go after the big entities first. And so the little guys have some warning. And then you go, oh, okay, I better stop that. And as long as you stop once they go after the big guys, it was just like poker, right? They made all the poker sites not allow U.S. bettors and stuff like that. They didn't go after the individual players. First of all, it's ridiculously hard to police and to go. It takes too much manpower. It's not worth their time to go after the individuals. So, again, I'm not saying whether you should or shouldn't or will or won't, but if I were so inclined, I would not be too worried about them coming after me unless I was hosting a site placing the bets.
Yeah, I agree with you, Scruffy. I mean, I did my whole life poker games at home. They never came bother me. I mean, the betting is already happening on Web3 also, inside communities, on the stupidest games even. So it's already here. It's already here anyway.
We're all a bunch of gambling addicts, as shown by the meme coin phrase or phase.
Well, I was about to bring that up as my final thought.
That was my final thought. I stole it.
Well, then I mean, kind of, sort of. We're all gambling right now, right? We're gambling by investing in crypto, in tokens. It could always go up. It could always go down. It's like the stock market. Yeah. The stock market is one of the biggest gambling sites on the planet. And so, we're already all gambling. We think we're back in a winner, and that'll be my final thought.
All right.
You
Okay.
just copied my final thought.
Well, we're down to
You copy pasted.
we're down to a little under 2 minutes. Scruff, you have anything you want to say about goodbyes to everybody, or
That was it.
was it?
Just have fun. Have a great day. My lawn's looking good.
No, oh yeah, nice. And Scruffy's lawn. How about you, Fryler?
Nope. Yep. Thanks everyone for coming. It was a great Twitter space. I'm going to be heading out going crabbing soon. So enjoy your Wednesday.
I thought you lived in Arizona. No, I'm just kidding. Going crabbing. Jeez.
Going crabbing, and it's going to be a long drive.
Yeah, it's going to be a long drive.
Dude,
Yeah,
he lives in like Oregon.
I know.
Oh.
Well, now I've got to move locations again. Dang it.
Oh, I know. Christ. He's got to move again.
People are trying to find me for all my gambling sites I host.
That's right. Well, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. It's been a wonderful day to talk, as usual. And I'm going to just say thank you, everybody, and good day. And we're going to play a little outro from our main man, 7.
This has been a Corn Mafia Guild Twitter space with your hosts, Stein and Freiler. Please join us every Wednesday at the same time, 5 p.m. UTC. We would like to thank all of our guests for their insights and input on today's topics. We also would like to thank all of you, our listeners, for taking time out from your busy day to join us. A full audio version of this conversation will be provided on our YouTube channel. You can find out more about the Corn Mafia Guild at our website, cornmafiaguild.io. So, until next week, thank you again, and have a great day.